the powers that be. So listen, let me tell you something. On this $74.99 pay-per-view card, we getting Lady Lara taking on Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Whew. Jesus Ramos, and he's the future, ladies and gentlemen, taking on a Luke Santa Maria. And that's a grudge match because Luke Santa Maria had beat up Jesus Ramos' uncle. Ooh, this undercard, $74.99. $74.99 right here in your face. And let me tell you something. If I can compare this undercard is probably better than anything that Top Rank or the Zone put on all year combined. Because look, we getting Lindy Lara, right? Now look at this. Come on. Absolute legend. 28-3-3, 16 KOs. You know, coming off that big win, first round KO of Thomas LaManna. Greg Vendetti. And Greg Vendetti has been known in boxing circles to be real tough cat. Look, he even got revenge and he fought Canelo's balding widow's peak brother, Ramon Alvarez. So I'm surprised that they was able to even afford to have Lindy Lara on this undercard, because you know, like they're giving us some good. This is some good stuff. And the boxing purists, they know. They're the ones that know. And don't get me started on Spike O'Sullivan. I've been covering him for like 10 years now. No bullshit. 31-4. 31, only 4 losses. Only been stopped 3 times. 21 KOs. Oh my gosh. Get that out of here. I'm being taunted. What else? You know, that tough. He went 11 with Jaime Munguia. He went one round with a tough round with David Lemieux. 7 with Chrissy Bank Jr. You see what I'm saying? He went the whole distance with Billy Joe, and Billy Joe fought Canelo. Tough. Listen, this undercard, let me tell you something. Showtime, y'all really did it. Y'all really outdid yourselves with this one. You really outdid yourself with this one, Showtime. So I'm going to be here on the night buying the fight because, hey, listen, you know. But if you got $5 to $6 to pay for gas, then you clearly have the money to pay for a Showtime pay-per-view. I don't want to hear that mess. And I know y'all be having the money. So I think that's enough shilling for now, right? Okay. I did my part. I sold the fight. I sold the fight. Shit. So the press conference is going to start. We're going to talk after the press conference and go over some things. What? Are they showing all access before the press conference? Why are they doing this? Bro, they showing all access before the press conference.
Then the oldest.
So you mean to tell me they're going to show an episode of All Access before I should have known better. I should have known better. Well, anyway, since we have some time to talk, I guess we can go over some other things that have been other boxing topics that have been going on. And one of them is the announcement that it's official. That Saul Canelo Alvarez is going to be taking on Gennady Golovkin. September what? Is it supposed to be the 17th? What's the exact date? On the Zone. Now, people have mixed feelings about the fight. You know, they're like, Golovkin's too old. You know, he was getting beat up by Murata. But at the same time, I'm glad that they're having the fight because I want it to be over. You know, I want just the whole thing to be settled. And do I personally feel that Golovkin has anything left in the tank to beat him? I don't know. So what we're doing is we're waiting for the press conference for Rolly Romero. Golovkin and Rolly Romero to start. Not Golovkin. Tank Davis and Rolly Romero to start. So in the meantime, see what's going on with Canelo. And him taking on Golovkin in a fight that I mean, let's face it, we heard it was coming for a while. And me, from what I've always thought, I always thought that eventually, you know, Canelo was going to fight him that third time, but on his own terms. And now Golovkin is going to have to move up to 168 pounds to get the shot. A division where people have been saying, you know, he should have moved up 2, 3, 4 years ago. Now, it's no secret that Golovkin hasn't been looking good his last 3 or 4 fights, especially since signing that the new DAZN deal. And by the way, remember the DAZN gave him like shares or stock or something in the DAZN as like payment? I wonder how that's doing. So doesn't he get paid off of like everything that the DAZN puts out on their platforms all over the world? Or, you know, anyone have any details on that? But one thing for sure is Canelo is definitely, well, both of these fighters are in a situation where they have to win. Now, it's not saying that Canelo's going to be done, but the boogeyman or the scary factor is definitely going to be gone, because right now you can look at the fight that he had with Bivol and you can say, okay, well, you know, it's because he went up to 175 and Bivol, all he does is live, breathe, eat, and sleep boxing. But, you know, if he loses to Golovkin at 168 pounds, it's going to be like, yo, you really washed. Not only is Golovkin older, but arguably a lot of people felt that he beat Golovkin in the first 2 fights. Me, I think it's 1-1. I think that the second fight, he definitively won, meaning Canelo, my personal opinion. You know, he stayed, you know, like he held his ground in the middle of the ring and it was just nothing that he could do. Let's go look at Canelo's resume real quick. Well, let me pull up the resumes in general. I'm going to go from there. Hold on, give me 1 minute. By the way, take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. All the links to my social media are down below in the description box. Let me pull up these rankings here on my beautiful website, FightView360.com. And one of the other topics I want to talk about is the politics in boxing. It's just like, God. Like, well, this person can't fight this person because this network or this promoter or manager, they don't like each other and all this type of shit. So if you don't know, just to run it down for you, Jamal Charlo's taking on Masheed Salusky to defend his WBC title. That's going to be on June 18th on Showtime. They were trying to get him, meaning Jamal Charlo, to face Jaime Munguia, but I blame Golden Boy and the DAZN for that. They stopped the fight. And from my understanding, Munguia's handlers, Zanfer or co-promoters, they wanted the fight. But, you know, at the end of the day, Golden Boy stopped it. So now you have Jaime Munguia taking on a fucking Jimmy Kelly. Yeah, Jimmy Kelly, if you look him up, he did have an upset win over Kanat Islam about 3-4 months ago. I don't remember exactly when, but nonetheless, Jaime Munguia going to beat the shit out of him, and it's not a fight that fans ask for or what they want. And Charlo's in a tough situation because he's being pushed toward 168 pounds. Because at 160, unless he's able to get his hands on another one of those belts, then what's the point of staying around? Now, what's supposed to happen is if Golovkin moves up and fights Canelo, which is going to happen, he's going to have to vacate that IBF title, and you're going to have Mick Zarafa of Australia taking on Esquiva Falco. He's a top-ranked fighter. Likely that will be a top-ranked card for that IBF title. It could possibly be on Haney versus Kambosos 2, which is supposed to be taking place later on this year. Yes, I said Haney Kambosos because unlike Big J, who's predicting that Kambosos is going to knock out Devin Haney in 9, I got Devin Haney winning by decision. But I did a whole video with Big J on that earlier. You can go watch that there. Andrade versus Alim Hanula. I know how to pronounce his name now. Demetrius Andrade versus Janjabek Alim Hanula. They have to fight before November the 17th. Andrade is no longer facing Zach Parker for that WBC interim at 168 pounds. So that's some shit right there. That's a whole video within itself. So in a way, I guess what I'm saying is this. Where's Demetrius Andrade going to go? I think the best place for him to go is PBC. Just chalk it up, bro. You know, see what they talking about. You know, make sure you're getting some.
How dare you?
Thanks, Mike.
180 Mike has just donated $5. You sicken me.
Thanks, Mike. 818 Mike. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, for the $5 super chat. By the way, guys, I'm getting a Cash App. Actually, I do have Cash App now. It's T Street Controversy. But yeah, anyway, so I think that Andre, it's time, bro. Like, go over to PBC, you know? Like, go over to PBC. Like what, you know? Because we already tried the Matchroom experiment. It didn't work. Top Rank ain't gonna be able to do nothing with him. So if Jamal Charlo defeats Salusky, then, you know, there's a chance he can possibly get his hands on another title. You know what's really sickening me anyway? Look at this right here. Ew. So you could have Munguia be ordered to fight Chris Eubank Jr., right? For the WBA title. Or if one of these guys go the other way and choose like, nah, I want to go another route, then you can have either Chris Eubank Jr. or Jaime Munguia being ordered to fight Sergio fucking Martinez for the WBA super title, the only one. Are you listening to this crazy ass shit? And I've been covering Sergio Martinez fights. Let me tell you. He has no business. Let me tell you, it's not looking good. I mean, he been getting some nice, solid little bullshit wins, but nah, not on this level, bro. And what is he now, 46 years old or is he 47? Outrageous. WBA, you still sicken me. You make me so sick. So pretty much 160 is shit. You know, ain't really nothing that really moves the needle unless we're getting Charlo versus Andrade. You know, okay, I'll entertain Charlo versus Eubank Jr. You know, that was possibly something that could have happened. You know, that was being explored before. You know, I would entertain that, but you know, with the promotional thing, you know, and it wasn't Chris Eubank Jr. MTK. Can he even get into the country? Up at 168 pounds, well, this is where things get interesting. How long before a new WBC interim champion David Benavidez gets ordered, or how long before Saul Canelo Alvarez gets elevated to WBC franchise champion just to fuck David Benavidez over once again? Now, his manager, and damn, I was supposed to upload that press conference, and I haven't done it yet. I was supposed to upload the post-fight press conference. I've had somebody close to me been sick. So that's what's, every week it's something fucking going on in my life, and I just want to cover boxing. But anyway, let me stay on topic. So anyway, you know, I was busy. But during the post-fight press conference, pretty much they have a path for David Benavidez, and it doesn't include Canelo right now. Now, I do believe that one day they're going to have to meet because as we can see, Canelo's weight cap seems to be 168, maybe 175, because Eddie Hearn is talking about possibly Canelo Bevo 2 in May of next year, you know, him going after it again. But it's hard for me to believe that. But it looks like to me Canelo's weight cap is 168, and David Benavidez is going to be able to fight as high as cruiserweight one day if he chooses so. But I do feel that with the way things are going, one day, especially if Benavidez keeps winning, that him and Canelo are going to have to run into each other. But remember, David Benavidez is only, 25 years old? That shit may not happen for another 4 or 5 years. But in the meantime, I like the possibility of David Benavidez versus David Morrell. David Morrell is fighting on the Charlo Salusky undercard, right? But as it stands right now, it's going to be undisputed on September the 17th. On the DAZN pay-per-view. Likely the same price is going to be what? $59.99 if you buy it through the DAZN, or I believe it's what? Going to be $80 if you buy it through your cable subscriber. Canelo versus Bevo, according to Dan Rayfield, has done about 520,000 or so pay-per-view buys. That's including everything from the DAZN and from people who purchased through their cable subscriber. I mean, it's cable company or dish or whatever. Eddie Hearn has been saying 700,000 or so, but you know, it's come to a point. I like Eddie Hearn, but he lied to me in my face when he told me that Kell Brook versus Khan was done. And he said that also he lied to me and told me that Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano was done. I had a nice little streak of interviewing Eddie Hearn back in Between 2018 and 2019, I was covering a lot of events between New York, and he had a couple here. So I don't believe shit he says no more, to be honest. I like Eddie Hearn, but sometimes it's like, bro, what are you talking about? So I believe that 500,000 or so pay-per-view number, which, they may not have made any money from Canelo for the money he was guaranteed, but still, nonetheless, for him to fight Dimitri Bivol, somewhat of a, for hardcore fans he's known, but no real casual appeal. I think that's Canelo's number. I think that Canelo can fight anybody and get at least 400,000 to 500,000 pay-per-view buys. That's where I think he's at right now in his career. So looking at the 168-pound situation right now, we don't know what they're doing with Zach Parker yet. So is Zach Parker going to be the mandatory now since he's not fighting Demetrius Andrade? Because remember, him and Zach Parker were supposed to fight to be the WBO interim, to be Canelo's mandatory. So now does Zach Parker become the mandatory now? I don't know the situation with that. There's currently no IBF mandatory. Former IBF champion Caleb Plant is linked to Anthony Durrell, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm not really a fan of Caleb Plant, and I think that Anthony Dog Durrell can probably catch him, my personal opinion. Caleb Plant resume was all smoke and mirrors to me. And the WBA situation, John Ryder is supposed to be the mandatory. It's weird with them. It's real weird at 168. You have David Morrell, who's the WBA world champion, but John Ryder is the actual mandatory for the super world champion. And this guy right here, I don't know who this man is. I've had to see him before, right? I've had to. Kazakhstan fighter. Okay, they get down. He hasn't fought over here ever. Gonna have to do some research. Don't know nothing about him. It's not your fault, bloke. Just don't know nothing about you, mate. So what else was I doing? Oh yeah, Golovkin's resume. This guy. Did y'all notice how he started acting real funny when he got that money? He stopped speaking English. He started having closed media workouts and shit. And then shit ain't been going good for him. Really, this is something that, media, we're not supposed to really talk about. But yeah, there's been rumblings yo, Golovkin been acting real funny. He started wearing the, what's what they call it? The pastel colors, the Miami Vice colors. Light ass blues and pinks and shit with the sunglasses. He got real, what they call it in the streets? Or back in my day, during my time, oh, this nigga got real Hollywood on us. That's what he did. He got real Hollywood. Hollywood Golovkin. For Steve Rose. Then almost lost his career. Got punched all in the stomach by Sergey Derevyachenko. Many people thought he lost that fight. Yeah, he left Abel Hussein. Then he fought his mandatory Zermeta. Take this long-ass layoff. He was getting tagged up. We streamed this fight live. I was doing live commentary. He was getting tagged up by Murata in the early parts of the fight. And now here we are again. So the question is, could this be the end? See, Canelo, even though he lost to Bivol, Golovkin don't have that fire in him that we've seen him fight Canelo, where he was Bivol was going after him, but also Bivol, was very respectful and working off the jab. Golovkin got to go to the body. He's got to change up something. And I don't know if him being with John, put it this way, I've never really been a fan of him. He's with Jonathan Banks now, right? Hasn't he been with him for a while? I'm not confident, in that. I'm not really confident in that, man. He ain't really been doing nothing for me. My man, 40 years old too. Now, in this day and age, in boxing, if you take care of yourself and don't take a lot of damage, you can still fight and be real productive at 40 years old. It can happen. And this is not a fighter who has a bunch of vices and everything that we know of. He's out here, smoking and drinking and partying and all that shit. You know, so I don't really look at him as being old, but definitely in a Murata fight, it definitely looked like he lost a little bit of a step. You know? But my issue is this. What can he do differently than he did, you know, in fights 1 and 2 to bring that equalizer to be like, you know what, I'm gonna make sure this shit is beyond a doubt now. Because Canelo's gonna be tagging him up like early in the fight. And this old man Golovkin, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. I won't be surprised if he get dropped. I'm not gonna say he's gonna get stopped. You know, that Kazakh chin, the Kazakh chin. You know, I don't know if he'll be able to stop him. You know, but I do think he might be able to drop him. And we can say whatever we want about Golovkin's resume. Let's not forget the bullshit that happened, you know, with Canelo and Cotto, and how basically they was playing a round robin and fucking him over for like, what, 2-3 years or something like that? He was trying to fight the best, you know, but he couldn't get the best. And then you talk about the Andre Ward situation. There's so many mixed, you know, reports on that. And I can kind of understand where, you know, Golovkin's team was coming from, and I can understand where Andre Ward's team was coming from. But at that point in time, love Andre Ward to death, but he wasn't really moving the needle for people to be like, all right, we're gonna take a chance with you, or regarding him being high risk, really low reward. I mean, he had those 2 phenomenal fights, you know, and the buildup was even good. The buildup was great for Kovalev Ward and 1 and Ward Kovalev 2. But guess what? The fights did shit. The build-up was great. You've never seen that type of fire from Andre Ward and his team and Kovalev and his team, and press conferences and weigh-ins, like the animosity. I know because I was at them. And for some reason, that fight just did not move the needle. Like, that shit did not sell. Like, both of them did like some crazy, super low, below expectations numbers. And the only person that really made out was Andre Ward. He got his money. He showed up, let's listen to Rolly. The press conference is about to start in about, what, 5 minutes or so. So what they're doing is they're playing old episodes of All Access. Oh, and by the way, don't expect for the Canelo versus Golovkin undercard to be any good. I'm interested, though, on where they're going to have the fight. I'm guessing, obviously, T-Mobile. Or will they try the arena, that joint? You think they can do 60,000 at that Vegas stadium? At least, we've seen generously. It's Canelo versus Golovkin 3. They should be able to do 70,000 somewhere, right? Right? Maybe? But yeah, while we're waiting for the press conference to start, let's listen to Rolly talk some shit. Take a time out. Like the video, subscribe. We'll be right back.
Where I'm at today. I was in Guantanamo Bay. He was there for about 3 weeks. He said that the Americans treated him really, really good. And they flew him to Florida where his brother was. My dad left Miami after 4 months and in Vegas, and like literally right after he got here, he met my mother.
Senior's sacrifice paid dividends. And alongside his new bride, Tiffany, they created the foundation for all to come.
In junior high school, they would pick on him and
Yeah, I know.
pick on him because he was shorty.
That's right. Little.
But I grew. I ate a
Yeah,
lot.
you grew.
He couldn't talk either.
I still can't talk. What you mean?
When you was little, you
I
couldn't
still
It was
talk.
worse. It was worse when you was younger.
Yeah.
I really
You
couldn't
don't
speak.
say, you can't even say nothing. I wish it stayed like that.
We wouldn't be making as much money.
Now you know. Now he talking, now that drive me completely crazy.
Calls it like he sees it. But no, I like it.
Now he wanna fight a big fight now. They both strong, they both punch, and they both crazy too. You understand? I don't know what wanna happen over there. I wish it's gonna be a good fight.
I'm definitely excited to be back at the Barclays Center because I won my first title there. It's a great atmosphere there. I was 21, 22 when I first won my first title. I feel as though I'm comfortable now because I've been here for so long. You know what I mean? It's time to, grow up, become that young OG. Right now, the little situation that's going on with boxing, I feel as though they're sleeping on me, so It's time to wake them up. I'm really who I say I am, and who these people say I am. I'm really that. So I'm just waiting on my moment to show 'em. So I'm definitely like, they woke up a beast.
That music can go ahead and fuck off. But no, I was looking for the clip of Rolly giving Tank a stern warning of what he gonna do to him when he see him. Remember, Rolly used to do kung fu. Look, he used to do kung fu. You know, so it's certain things that, you know, I don't think that Tank can compete with.
Late pivot, leaving judo to try boxing at age 7.
See, like he's a true combat sports expert and technician. Look at him choking this old man out.
17.
What was it like in those early days when you first started out?
Throwing windmill punches, all sorts of shit. Just randomly standing there, just, you know, all that stuff, getting hit for no reason.
He's always been very intelligent. He's evolved so much. It's like light years. You touch his ass, you don't understand what.
Can we talk about something respectfully? Yo, let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get it out the way. Let's just go ahead and get it out the way. Why do people say that Rolly's slow? He looks like he reminds me of like the annoying kid in school, but I don't get like slow vibes from him. Maybe a little bit, maybe, I guess. But we're all slow a little bit, I guess. Just trying to, you know, not get canceled, you know. But then people say the same thing about Tank. Let me tell you something. Tank came a long way because before he couldn't talk for shit. All he did was mumble, you know. So he's really come a long way. Like he can really, like, you know, now hold it down on the microphone, especially when he's upset, you know. And that's one thing you got to be able to do if you're going to be a pay-per-view star. You got to be able to talk, you know. You got to be able to, you know, like sell. But as far as this pay-per-view is concerned, I hope Showtime ain't watching. This shit gonna flop. Like, let me tell you something. This shit ain't gonna do, like, you know, like that. You know? I don't know if this pay-per-view gonna really move the needle. I like saying that. Yeah, I saw Ray Liotta died, man. It's fucked up. I didn't say intellectually slow. Nah, I ain't see. I just said, you know, like they say, like gifted, like touched, like that type shit. Because he does have this confident delusion to him, I guess. Which is good because, you know, I believe he's going to knock Tank out in one round. You know? I believe he goes, that's it, Tank then went too far. And especially when you look at him, I'll pull up the clip. You know what? Let's turn things around a little bit. What do you think about this right here? What do you think about this right here?
I remember first hearing an issue between Floyd and Gervonta before Gervonta fought Pedraza. And the issue I heard was that Floyd didn't want Gervonta to stay in Baltimore because he felt there was too many distractions for him in Baltimore, and he wanted to stay in Vegas. And the story I was told at that time was that Floyd gave Gervonta one of his penthouses or one of his apartments in the Palms Hotel, and he said, "This is your apartment. I'll furnish it for you." He got him a Jeep. At the time, Gervonta was not a world champion. He got him like a Jeep, a 4x4. You know, he basically said, "I'll make it comfortable for you. I don't want you to go to Baltimore. I want you to stay here. I don't think Baltimore is the place for you," you know? And what I was told was Gervonta sold all the furniture, sold the Jeep, and went back to Baltimore and bought a Benz, you know, with... That's what I was... For real? That's what I was told.
That sounds like some shit that really went down, though. And I heard that same shit before. Also, among other rumors and shit, y'all heard the shit about how Tank was, you know, allegedly sleeping around with, you know, Floyd's daughter. And remember they had like that open beef for a while where Floyd was doing like interviews with Fight Hype and shit, saying how he was, how Tank was sleeping on air matches before he met him. But that sounded like some young shit to do. Some young, you know, shit to do. And it seemed like Tank and Floyd, like, relationship been kind of forced. You know, even when they interact at fights or at media events, it come across, you know, like kind of like awkward and just like not really there. But regardless of what's going to happen, I like Tank as a fighter. You know, yeah, I do feel like a lot of times these fighters be on some weird and some dumb shit. But, you know, motherfuckers be young. You know, hopefully they grow out of it. You know, because at one point in time, you know, Tank was, you know, picking up a lot of cases. Like, for example, and then, you know, gripping his baby mom up at like sporting events and shit. It's like, bro, what are you doing? And I'm looking and thinking like, wait a minute. Can Tank even drive anymore? Like, didn't he hurt like some people? Like, didn't his license get suspended for life or some shit? But yeah, we're sitting here waiting for the press conference to start. Starting half an hour, then, you know, I expected it. I think the Loma fight was close. I believe because they were talking about it. Al Heyman and this was before the pandemic. Al Heyman and Bob Arum were on the phone regularly when they were working on both of the Fury Wilder fights, the last two. And they were exploring other fights as well. And then everything shut down during the pandemic. It was to the point where you even had Lomachenko call out Tank on a Top Rank on the ESPN event. By the way, we have not heard anything from Loma, man. I hope he's all right. You know, I know he's off at war, you know, doing his thing, you know, in Ukraine and whatnot, but we haven't heard anything from him. But yeah, I believe that story from Paulie, because I've heard it before, like many times, that Floyd, like, you know, that hooked him up in Vegas and then some fucking shit went down. Said Tank, Floyd gave him a penthouse in one of his many apartments, you know, condos. And then Tank sold all of the shit in the apartment, sold the car, and then upgraded and got him a Benz. Like, no, I ain't driving no fucking Jeep. I want a fucking Benz. But yeah, that's how young people be. You know, they get a little bit of money and think that money gonna keep coming. I mean, this was years ago, you know, these alleged, you know, rumors of what happened. But a lot of young motherfuckers, athletes and shit, they do dumb shit like that. That's why I believed it, you know, from the beginning. I was like, yo, that shit sound like something, you know, a young fighter would do. You know, that definitely sound like something they would do. But yeah, $74.99, some of the best money you can spend. You know, you're getting Iris Lindy Lara versus Gary Spike O'Sullivan on the undercard. You're going to have Jesus Ramos, who in a barn burner, versus Lucas Santamaria. Lucas Santamaria had beat up Jesus Ramos, Abel Ramos' brother or uncle or some shit. So for $74.99, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss it. And after all, what else do you have to do with your Memorial Day weekend when gas is $6 a gallon? Stay in the house and watch you some boxing. It'll be the best $75 plus taxes that you've ever spent. I'm promising you, you won't have a good time. I mean, you will have a good time. Let's see what else we're doing here before this press conference starts. Hold on, I was pulling up something. What clip was I pulling up? Oh yeah. Tank had called Rolly trainer Booker T. Funny dude. Okay, Booker T. But hold on, let me see something here. Where we at? I could have sworn I uploaded it already. Oh yeah. Let's go listen in a little bit.
Welcome.
Rolly a funny dude. This is just a clip from the last one. I'm gonna go get something to drink. But this is this is what you're seeing on the screen. This is the press conference, just waiting for it to start. You know, so as soon as it starts, we'll be going over. But in the meantime, let's go down memory lane. Well, we are here. Here is the press conference for Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero.
Versus Romero. I'm Brian Custer, the host of Showtime Championship Boxing. And on Saturday, May 28th, Showtime pay-per-view and boxing is back at Barclays Center. Here.
This is the live press conference today from New York.
Barclays Center in Brooklyn has hosted a major event. In fact, it was Showtime Championship Boxing who last held an event at the Barclays Center before the pandemic started. But we're back at the new mecca of boxing here on the East Coast, and we're bringing one of the sport's biggest box office stars. And trust me, that's not hyperbole. If you read the New York Daily News this past week, the headline, Gervonta Tank Davis fight on track to break record for the highest grossing boxing event at Barclays Center. It's big. It's big.
You don't even fucking
listen, whether it's the quiet demeanor, whether it's that charismatic smile, or whether it's that dynamite in his fists, Tank Davis is box office and one of the sport's pound-for-pound best. But on Saturday, man, he's got his hands full because it's a grudge match for respect. Davis and Rolly Romero, well, let's just say they've had some beef for years. But they finally get to settle it with their fists in the ring Saturday on Showtime pay-per-view. Let's talk about Rolly Romero. He's unbeaten, just like Tank. He's the #1 contender. And just like Davis, known for power, known for knockouts. Listen, somebody's L has to go on Saturday, along with a certified ass whooping. That's what we got coming in Saturday on Showtime pay-per-view.
Tank is in trouble.
The whole card on Showtime pay-per-view from Barclays Center.
Yeah, I'll be streaming during the main event. And then the post-fight press conference.
It is presented by Premier.
Hey, take your time out. Like the video if you haven't.
GTD Promotions. And, of course, TGB Promotions as well. Now, listen, you want to be in the house. You want to be at Barclays Center.
Notice Floyd's not there.
But you got to act fast. Tickets are going fast. I've gotten word that there are only a few hundred left. But you can purchase tickets at SeatGeek.com, BarclaysCenter.com. Tickets are also available at the American Express box office there at Barclays Center as well. You want to order the fight? You can order Showtime pay-per-view. You can do it through Showtime.com. You can also do it through the Showtime app, also through all your traditional satellite pay-per-view providers. Let me bring here to the podium one of the promoters, the main promoter of this fight card. He's the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerby.
Thank you, Browne. Saturday night. Can't get here fast enough. I've been in and around the sport for well over 45 years. And I can honestly say this is probably one of the most anticipated fights that I've been involved with. And I've seen some of the biggest fights. We promoted the biggest fights in the history of the sport. But as far as anticipation, and it's kind of I have a mixed feeling about it because obviously, you know, we promote both guys. So come Saturday night, somebody is going to lose and somebody's getting knocked out. Okay? I know both guys are in tremendous shape. They've had excellent camps. No matter what anyone says, Tank has gotten up for this fight. Rolly's gotten up for this fight. And in my eyes, and anyone
Tank getting knocked out
with common sense,
it's gonna be a damn shame.
This is a very, very dangerous fight for both guys. Sometimes the person who's supposed to win, it doesn't come out like that. Sometimes the person who's supposed to win gets it done. They go in there and they show that person that they don't belong in the ring with them, that they're not on that level. But over the last year, we've all witnessed Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Anthony Joshua,
He preaching.
all came into their fights with knowing that they were going to win the fight. And somehow they came up short. When you look at both guys, again, I have a great deal of respect for both guys. You look at Tank. Tank is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. He's one of the best fighters in the entire world. When you look at Rolly Romero, a lot of people, you know, they look at Rolly, they say, okay, he's awkward, he can't do this, he can't do that. But I can tell you right now, from just experience, that should look different until you get up in there, especially when you got them 8s on. Okay, what we're gonna find out on Saturday night is that the person who's dishing it, can they take it? So tune in Saturday night. I guarantee you, this will be a barn burner from the giddy up. Thank you.
Preach, Leonard. Preach. He telling y'all, listen, it's over.
Thank
Listen,
you, Leonard.
Tank is in some trouble.
Mayweather Promotions. Also, my man Tom Browne is here as well. Where's Tom?
I've seen the training tapes.
TGV Promotions.
I've seen the tape.
Always good to see you, Tom. Thank you as well. Let me bring you here to the podium now. Of course, the man who runs the network.
I'm going to put some money down on Rolly.
When it comes to boxing, he's the
$5.
General Manager of Showtime Sports, Stephen Espinoza.
Thank you, guys. And thank you, Brian. This is the third fight on a very intense 6-week stretch of 6 consecutive weekends of high-level boxing on Showtime. Part of an incredible run of top-tier fights. And we have quite a streak going. Our last 4 main event fights, we got 4 all-action fights, 4 stoppages, 4 decisive endings, you know, featuring some of the best fighters in the sport. April 9th, Lubin Fondora, Fight of the Year quality fight, Fight of the Year candidate. In a thrilling back-and-forth fight, Fondora gets a stoppage in the 9th round. April 16th, Errol Spence, Yordenis Ugas, another thrilling fight, and a 10th round TKO. 2 weeks ago, the big fight for the undisputed title, Charlo Castaño, another thrilling fight. Charlo makes history with a 10th round knockout. Also on that card, Jaron Ennis with a very impressive knockout over previously unbeaten Custio Clayton. And then last week, very impressive performance by David Benavidez with a 3rd round KO. And now we have this grudge match between one of the sport's brightest young stars and most popular champions in Gervonta Davis and his most heated rival, the power-punching knockout artist Rolly Romero.
I'm going to drop something a little light on Rolly. You know, $5. You know, something light.
A big Charlo fight against Sulecki in Houston. But bottom line, no other network.
Show y'all I'm serious.
Anyone in the world is televising more meaningful, high-stakes, entertaining fights. And these guys are all competitive. They watch each other's fights, and that's why we're on this run.
I'm going to get a couple scratch-offs, too, in Rolly name.
Performance in this streak of big-time fights. And I am very, very confident that this streak of stoppages is going to continue. I don't see how this goes 12 rounds. It just doesn't make sense to me. This Saturday will be the 40th boxing event at Barclays.
Exactly, Stephen. Rolly said it's going to end in 1.
Since the pandemic started in March 2020. Showtime televised the first boxing event ever at Barclays Center. Since then, we've done 20 more, which means this Saturday will be the 22nd Showtime fight at Barclays Center, more than every other network combined. Tank's first fight at Barclays Center was memorable in itself. His first title fight, 7th round stoppage of super featherweight world champion Jose Pedraza. Since then, he's sold out venues in LA, in Atlanta, in Baltimore, and now back to Brooklyn, where he's on track for another sellout. This will be Tank's 12th time fighting on Showtime, and we're thrilled that we've seen him develop and grow up and mature into one of the biggest stars in boxing. But every time Tank steps into the ring, it's not just a fight, it's an event. You've seen the showmanship, you've seen the celebrities, you've seen the excitement. And this one may be the most exciting fight that Tank's been participating in yet. You know, the sport of boxing is in a very good place. There's a new generation of young stars, and the future is very bright. But when you talk about the young stars of boxing,
you know, something light.
Tank's in a
You know,
class by himself. His
I
popularity,
got 5
his fan
on
base,
Rolly to stop
results
thinking
in
1.
huge crowds, literally coast to coast. There isn't another young fighter in the sport that generates the kind of buzz, the kind of excitement that Tank does. You know, but none of that matters on Saturday night.
Where do I go to place my heavy bet?
But once we get in the ring and the bell rings, then obviously it's a whole different story. Rolly has proven himself one of the biggest punchers in boxing. First with the first round KO on Showbox back in 2019, 3 wins on Showtime Championship Boxing, including a 7th round destruction of former title challenger Anthony Yigit, even though Yigit came in as a much bigger fighter. You can call him awkward, you can call him orthodox, you can say anything you want. One thing you can't argue with is Rolly's power. And that's what has everybody so intrigued.
Listen, you see what they talking?
Undercard with this. We've got featuring
I gotta drop some money.
battle-tested veterans and some of the most
I don't know where to go though. I never gambled before online or anywhere for that matter.
his WBA title
I can't even play ID Clear War or Uno. No bullshit.
young rising stars.
What I've done now.
Jesus Ramos just 20.
But you know, I'm willing to drop something. You know, something small on Rolly. You know, to wet my beak.
Luke Santa Maria.
To stick my toe in. Test the temperatures of the waters. Just a little taste.
To avenge that loss.
Where's Dwyer at? Who's he betting on? I'm gonna bet on the opposite.
Ramirez, who is one of the best super featherweights in the world, will battle Puerto Rico's Luis Melendez, a very tough Luis Melendez, in a 10-round super featherweight thriller.
FanDuel.
This will be an exciting night.
Do they take food stamps?
Part of another record-setting event, and it's something you can't.
Do they take medical assistance? Can I give him my EBT card number?
Thank you, Stephen. I love the way he crafts, gives you the storylines for the fight, get you all excited. But let's be honest, folks. When it comes to this sport, sometimes when you're fighting your rival, you just want to get in the ring and say, yo, I'm coming to shut you the F up. That's what we got in the main event. Basically, that's what we have. This thing is going to be fireworks. So let's talk about the fight. Let me introduce some of the guys here at the podium first. To my right, to your left. I mean, since Tank was a youngin', he, along with Kenny Ellis, have trained him on that west side of Baltimore, Upton Boxing Center. Mr. Kalvin Ford, everybody. To my left, you're right. 6 years ago, took Rolly Romero under his wing, turned the young man from a martial artist into a championship-level fighter. He is Mr. Cromwell Bullet Gordon.
That's the dude Tank had called Booker T.
And now, let me introduce the fighters. Start with the challenger. Unbeaten.
But yes, we're going to be here streaming during the main event with a post-fight video with highlights and during the post-fight press conference. We'll be here tomorrow at noon for the weigh-in.
Have ended in a knockout. He is Rolando Rolly Romero. Good, Rolly. Come on up here. Give a word to the people. And listen, I just got a new blazer too, so you know.
Look, I just want to say to everybody here, I mean, I'm excited to be over here fighting at the Barclays over here. We're going to have the biggest event ever in the history of Barclays, and I'm excited to be part of that. Make sure to buy a pay-per-view, and you guys are going to see Tank's going to get knocked down one round, just like that. Nothing else need to be said.
Now the champion. 26-0. 24 knockouts. Listen, before his last fight, he had a streak of 16 straight knockouts that began in 2015. His 92% knockout percentage against his opponents, that's the second highest of any current title holder. He's known as Tank. Fighting out of Baltimore, Gervonta Tank Davis.
Thank everybody for coming out, man. I appreciate you guys. I definitely appreciate Mayweather Promotion, Al Heyman, my personal team. I'm ready, man. I'm happy to be at this point. I feel as though the talking is over. It's time is now, so I'm ready. We've been working hard in this camp. We know that, you know, Rolly gonna come out and try to knock me out in the first round, he say. So I'll be ready for that. So I see y'all Saturday, man. The time is now. Ain't no more talking and all this. And I definitely appreciate everybody for coming out for sure. But it's no more talking. The time is here, and I'm ready.
Love it.
Thank y'all.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the fight. Tank, we'll start with you. How's it feel to be back here, New York City?
Watch how much gas Brian Custer is about to throw on this fight.
Can I say shout out to Showtime? I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
We're good. We're good.
But definitely, I'm excited to be back in Barclays. New York, period. New York is definitely a great city. They always showed me love when I came here. It always been like a second home to me, so I'm definitely grateful to be back.
He got what?
I think what's the I forget his name. The one with the son? What's his name? Brett? Brett? Okay, yeah, shout out to him. I don't really know his name, but I know he's a big Tank fan, so he always showed me love when I come here, so I'm definitely excited, man. I won my first title here. Then I lost my title on the scale and then came back and won another title in New York at the Barclays. So a lot of people don't know that, but I'm definitely excited to be here. I feel as though this is definitely good for boxing. And it's a boxing town, you know what I mean? So I'm excited, man. All in all, I'm grateful to be here. I'm maturing. I'm still learning as I walk this path. And what can I say, man? I got the people that I started with around me. They're still around me, and I'm just grateful to be here. So Saturday night, it's just due date.
Rolling? It's one thing to be fighting on pay-per-view. It's another thing, as you talked about, becoming a star of boxing, and you can be, this city produces stars. Your thoughts on fighting in New York City, pay-per-view against Tank?
Well, I mean, just being in this position is just like amazing. You know, I started boxing at 17. A lot of people don't realize this. I'm probably the fastest world champion in the history of boxing. I did it with 7 years, you know? I only have 14 fights. I don't know anybody else on the pay-per-view platform fighting with only 14 fights, other than, well, with the exception of the YouTubers, you know? So...
Ooh, facts.
I did it faster than everybody else, and they had me here for a reason, you know? And like I said, I'm the new face of boxing. Y'all gonna see May 28th, knock Tank out.
Gervonta, if someone said, describe this fight that you're about to have with Rolly Romero, how would you describe it?
Fireworks. It's gonna be crazy in there. I just hope he don't use his elbows like he do a lot. That's it. That's it. We just gotta worry about his elbows. That's it. And I ain't gonna even say it. There's some things.
Rolly, same question to you. Someone said, describe this fight you're about to have with Gervonta Davis. How would you describe it?
What about all the little low blows that you threw at Little Santa Cruz, or when you hit Francisco Fonseca in the back of the head where they should have DQ'd your ass? Shut the fuck up.
Oh!
I'm not crazy. I'm telling the truth, and you know it. They should DQ'd your ass. And Lil Santa Cruz, you hit him a low blow like 20, 30 seconds before you knocked him out.
Who?
Santa Cruz. Or you forgot about that. Oh, yeah, you're punchy. I forgot.
Oh.
Gervonta,
The blood is bad.
How much do you think his awkward style is what they describe, Rolly style? How much will that pose a challenge to you Saturday?
I don't think he's awkward. I just think that he's a fighter that just started fighting. That's, you know how when somebody first come in the gym and like yeah. When somebody first come in the gym and they've been coming for like a little minute, so they think they nice now. They ain't get all the everything down pat, but that's how he fight. I don't think he's not like he's an awkward fighter. Awkward is somebody, I don't want to call no names, but awkward is like different from him. He's not awkward. We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a dumbass fighter. No. I'm not trying to be funny, but.
Rolly?
All Tank does same basic ass pad work as everybody else, and they all end up getting knocked the fuck out eventually when they run into a puncher. Just like his big bro Browne with Maidana, when he beat the shit out of Maidana, is it gonna be Browne or Maidana too?
You don't got the skills of Maidana. You don't even got them skills.
Man, I punch harder than him, and I got way more skills than you. What, like what? Cause you go, we're down. Like,
look at him.
Fuck shit, no damn skills. Like fucking like doing all that. Like the only one doing that shit is Floyd. He's the only one that can do that shit. And you can't do that shit for shit.
What?
Oh wait. Oh, and don't you get punched in the face by everybody? Then you get punched in the face by fucking Santa Cruz. Oh, then Pitbull beat the fuck out of you, man. Shut the fuck.
But you was just on the interview talking about I beat Santa Cruz. I mean Cruz. You said that soon after the fight. You said that. It's on camera.
Yeah, I have to say that shit if I want to get this fight. Right? Otherwise, they fucking get the damn rematch. Motherfucker. Oh, wait. Hey, you want a rematch? Fuck no. Motherfucker, you a bitch. You scared as shit.
Hey, Roland, let me ask you a question, Roland. You've been very adamant. You've been very adamant that you're going to stop him in one round. Can you enlighten us?
Man,
Tell us why. Tell us why you're so
there's
confident.
no way I can miss you. The big ass hands like the koala shaped head of your fucking koala with chlamydia, man.
What?
Thank you.
Motherfucker, you pissing flame. Shut the fuck up.
What? What are you saying? You're not even saying nothing.
Gervonta, you know, one of the things.
Look.
Hold on.
It's time. Look, it's time. Time is now. Fuck all the talking. Time is now. Bro.
May 28th, I'm gonna knock Gervonta the fuck out. Y'all gonna see this on the face of boxing. I'm the biggest name in boxing. Y'all gonna see this shit. May 28th, Barclays Center, buy the pay-per-view.
What?
Hank is rattled. He turned into Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Let me ask you this.
No, sir.
Hey, why don't you show everybody your fucking purse again?
Come on, bro.
Hold on 1 second. Gervonta, one of the things you talked about, you said, look, I'm going in for business, but I'm also going to show folks I am what I say I am. Tell us what you mean by that. You said people have been sleeping on you. What you mean?
Gervonta, what color are you going to paint your nails on fight night?
Hold on.
For real, what color are you going to paint your nails on fight night? I want to know. Are they going to match your outfit?
Oh, my God. This guy's a clown.
He's in his head.
And you a girl.
But to answer your question, I just want to, know what I mean? I just want to show people that it's different levels. You know what I mean? It's definitely different levels when you come to the sport of boxing. It's people that play with boxing, and it's people that been doing this since they was, you know what I mean, kids. You got somebody that's been doing it since they was 7, and somebody that was doing it since they was 17. Like, come on, bro. It's time to show that I'm one of them ones. Like, I ain't nothing to be played with. And it just start with him. It's going to continue. And I mean it, for sure. And it ain't even about, like, this fight. It's about going forward. You know what I mean? Showing them that I'm the top guy of 135 or 130 or 140.
We'll wrap it up with this.
Rolling for, let's say, 1 million people will buy this pay-per-view. Let's say the thousands that are coming to the Barclays Center. What can you guarantee that they're going to get when they step into that arena or they turn on Showtime pay-per-view on Saturday, May 28th?
Tank flatline on the ground. So show up at Barclays Center May 28th and buy the pay-per-view.
Tank, same for you. For those people who are going to spend their hard-earned money to come see you guys fight, what can you guarantee they're going to get on Saturday?
Fireworks. Fireworks. Like I said, all the talking is done, man. Time is now. Definitely. Definitely.
That's it. It is Saturday, Showtime, pay-per-view. Get your tickets at SeatGeek.com, BarclaysCenter.com. You can purchase them at the American Express box office at the Barclays Center. You can go to Showtime.com to purchase the fight. Go to the Showtime app as well. You got 2 unbeaten fighters, Gervonta Tank Davis, Rolly Romero, Saturday, May 28th, Showtime pay-per-view. We're gonna have these guys face off here. Let's have you guys face off here. All right.
So yeah, were we not supposed to hear that? That
Same bell.
You're going to participate in this stuff, right? Okay. Just want to make sure. Right. Right there. That's good. That's good. That's good.
So does Tank have to clap? Chlamydia? Were we supposed to hear that? Tank seemed a little bothered by that.
They good. They good. They're professionals.
Yeah, short and sweet. Got straight to the point. Of course, I'm biased towards Rolly, and I'm Team Rolly, so Rolly is forever. So I'm going to say that Rolly won the press conference. And I believe everything Rolly says. That's why I'm going to put $5 down on him to stop Tank Davis in round 1. And if they take food stamps, I'm going to put down $10. But I guess if it's like $10 food stamps, they're going to want like 20 for like cash, right? Whatever. I'm really not betting nothing on Rolly.
Here we go, folks. This is
I'm bullshitting.
2 unbeaten fighters. 2 unbeaten fighters. Rolly Romero, 14-0.
That's way too close. That's way too close.
6-0. It's for the WBA championship. It's a fight for respect. Saturday, May 28th, Barclays Center.
Break this up now, please. Somebody's going to get hurt.
There you go. It's not
Thank you, Tom Browne and Booker T. Tank is all rattled. Rolly's in his head. Rolly has won. He's the king of mind games.
Good job.
I don't know, guys. There's some bad blood. I don't know, guys. The blood is bad. It might be a little bit too bad. So listen, the talk is that Tank Davis is he wants out of Mayweather Promotions. But does that mean he went out of PBC as well? I don't think so. Let's go look at this guy's resume, though. 14-0 with 12 KOs, 26 years old. Rolando Florencio Romero Moreno. Damn, that's Hispanic as hell. Rolando Florencio Romero Moreno. Rolly is forever, you know. Looking at his resume, Anthony, can you dig it? Yig it, knocked him out. Avery Sparrow, troubled fighter, knocked him out. The Jackson Marinez, well, he lost that fight in a lot of people's minds. And when it came to the rematch, Jackson Marinez didn't want it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is his resume. Tank Davis, he first really stepped on the scene with a big win over Jose Pedraza. The Liam Walsh was credible because he's still around. Francisco Fonseca, okay. The Cuellar fight was a very credible fight. That was a big step up for him. Yorkes Gamboa, it was just like, okay, all right. Leo Santa Cruz on pay-per-view. Nice solid fight until Leo Santa Cruz threw the same punch 3 times. Got his ass knocked out. Mario Barrios, he stepped up to 140 to fight for that bullshit WB world belt. And he was losing that fight. And then came back, chased down Mario Barrios, knocked him out. Mario Barrios since went on to also get beat up by Keith Thurman. The Isaac Cruz fight, I believe that he won that fight. It was a tough fight for him, was a late replacement, but yet at the end of the day, he beat Isaac Cruz. And then now he's fighting Rolly Romero. And I don't want to see, let me tell you something. To be honest, I like Isaac Cruz, but I don't want to see Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz again. I believe that if he stays with PBC or Mayweather Promotions, that's going to probably be the fight that they're going to try to offer him. Because if you look at it, let's go find some fights for him. Let's say if he does stay with Mayweather Promotions, PBC, he's done at 130. What other fights can he fight after Rolly Romero in the PBC stable that fans will be like, yo, I want to see that? Now, we can't talk about Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is over on Golden Boy in the Zone. We can't talk about Ryan Garcia.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Mike 880 Mike has just donated $5. You sicken me. In sold on Lara versus O'Sullivan.
I gotta turn it up. He says, Mike says, I'm sold on Lara O'Sullivan alone. Let's go. Hyped. Bet the house. There you go. It's a great undercard for $74.99. I'm bullshitting you. But yeah, you're getting, if you don't know the card, before we get back to the rankings, here's the undercards. Thank you for the super chat too, Mike. You got Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero. Iris Lindy Lara versus Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Travel all the way here from Ireland. You got Jesus Ramos versus Luke Santamaria, and Eduardo Ramirez versus Luis Melendez at $74.99. Awesome pay-per-view. Well, your opinion, Lou Duva, okay? God rest your soul. Your opinion, But no, I had Tank Davis winning that fight. But if you look at fights within the stable, okay, so the winner of this is going to be the mandatory for Kambosos Haney, but not the first mandatory. If you don't know, Haney Kambosos have a 2-fight deal. So they're tied up for 2022. And then the next mandatory after that is likely going to be Lomachenko. So say, for example, Haney, Kambosos fight next week, June the 4th. Then the next fight somewhere in November, December. Then when they return next April or May, whoever wins between these 2 fights, they're going to fight Lomachenko. So the mandatory for Tank Davis and Rolly Romero winner are not going to get their shot until sometime summer, fall next year. So in the meantime, Tank's got to stay busy. And as you can see, if they keep him on Mayweather Promotions and PBC, they're going to try to keep him pay-per-view. So when you look, it's like, who is it going to be on, where it's a fight that can be made? And we can't trust that Golden Boy and PBC will be able to make a fight with Ryan Garcia because they couldn't even give us Charlo versus Jaime Munguia. And then it would have to be a joint promotion, right? Showtime and PBC are not, and the Zone are not going to do a joint pay-per-view. Ryan Garcia is going to have to either go over the Showtime or Tank Davis is going to have to go over.
How dare you?
Leonard says Tank versus Rayo can be Tank next fight. Who's Rayo? You mean Ryan? Am I missing something? You mean Ryan Garcia? I don't think that can happen, bro. I'm not optimistic. I'm not optimistic. Like these politics, in boxing with promoters and managers and network allegiances, I can't stand it, But I understand a lot of these networks and promoters don't want to have you fight a fighter on their platform unless they get some type of assurances or some type of multi-fight deal out of you. You see, for Canelo, PBC, outside of Caleb Plant, they wanted a multi-fight deal. Now with the Zone, he's got the Bevo, multi-fight deal. But what we've learned with the politics, like it's going to be one or the other. Somebody like for Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia to happen, it's going to have to be on Showtime or it's going to have to be on the Zone. So looking at a fight, I'm trying to find an in-house fight that they can make. What in-house fight can they make? between 135, you know, and 140. 140 is pretty much dominated by Top Rank and BT and Top Rank, you know, affiliates or whatever. You know, Gary Russell Jr., unfortunately, him and Antoine, their father died, so they're pretty much going to be out of the commission. Venezuela, no, but he ain't ready yet. He's not there yet in the, I see you, Leonard, but he's not there yet. And where is he ranked? He's not there yet, though. There's no marketability behind him. Like, he's not there yet. He's not there yet. Didn't he just fought a couple weeks ago, right? He ain't there yet. On a marketability standpoint. But I'm talking about, like, somebody that, you know, they can try to sell. Rolly's there because, obviously, Rolly can talk. You know, he's got some selling point to him, but that's about it.
How dare you?
That was from Leonardo Campos. He said Rayo Venezuela, the kid that Benavidez dad trains. Michael Rivera, now he's kind of close, but I don't think they can really put him on pay-per-view. You see what I'm saying? You know, I don't know. Michelle Rivera, I'm not sure. Either way, this is why I would rather him go over to Top Rank, you know? Because at least we know he has plenty of options over there, even if they give him a light touch just to start off, you know, somewhere like, let's say, for example, they say, all right, it's your first fight over here. You know, we're going to just throw you a little light touch. Do you want something at 135 or 140? 135, they can make secure this Zaire Abdulayev. He fought on his own. But he's with a Russian promoter, and he beat Jorge Linares in the final eliminator. Maybe they can do something like that. Fuck it. If Richard Comey beat Jose Pedraza, he already beat Pedraza, meaning Tank Davis. Maybe they can do something like that, like a light touch, and be like, all right, we're going to give you a 2-3 fight plan, but first let's get some money in your pocket, what you beat. You know, and even if you look at 140, you know, what's ever going to happen between Jose Zepeda, Josh Taylor, Liam Poirot, Jose Ramirez, well, he's pretty much looking at 147 pounds. He may be fighting Conor Benn at 147. Jack Catterall, Tiafimo, you know, fuck it. See what's up with Sandor Martin. But right now, I think that they have more credible options, Arno Barboza, more credible options that fans will be somewhat interested in. And especially if we're talking about always matching Tank with Hispanic fighters, you know, outside of Rolly, well, he's Hispanic too. But, Top Rank just has more to offer. You know, Matchroom, I don't think that, you know, Tank would make a lot of money, you know, but unless they have, you know, like a straight plan for him, you know, where it's like, okay, you fight this fight and then maybe another, and then you and Ryan Garcia is going to be the big cash out. But for right now, I don't see PBC being able to do it for him. But the Michelle Rivera fight is not bigger than those other fights I just named. I don't even think fighting Rivera would be bigger than him fighting a Jose Ramirez or Zepeda, to be honest. You know, to be honest. I think they would be all on the same level. But that's just me. But also, we also have to factor in too. Look, now here on the East Coast, it's not really, right now my Alexa says it's 73 degrees outside. Let's not act like Tank haven't been having weight issues before in the past. I've noticed he's been wearing some heavy. Yeah. I've noticed he's been wearing some heavy clothes, you know, maybe to try to lose some weight.
Okay. Trying to make sure.
Weigh-in's going to be tomorrow at noon.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, what if Rolly do it? Either way, I think, put it this way. This is either going to be, you know, a quick fight. Listen, I'm just going to go ahead and say that if Rolly get knocked out, that shit's probably going to be ugly. Because it's true, somebody's going to get either knocked out or beat the fuck up, and it's going to be ugly. Rolly, a very confident dude, man, but Tank been boxing since he was like a kid, like little ass boy, and gym wars and shit. No bullshit. But in this day and age, all it takes is one punch. And I'm interested to see what kind of fight Rolly's going to fight. Is he going to go in there, like, if he get hit, you know, is he going to start being able to retreat and be like, oh, shit, I'm in here at the deep end, you know, and shell up and get beat up for 12 rounds? Or is he going to go out there swinging wild and really trying to knock him out? No, Rock, you don't have on no high heels. Motherfucker. But yeah, Tank do be wearing some funny shoes. And then he tried to say that Rolly be wearing funny shoes. Nah, dog, it's you. Rolly definitely got the height advantage. Rolly's about 5'8". Tank is about a good 5'5". Like, Tank is a little dude, no bullshit. Like, these some little people. Like, you'll see these dudes on TV, and then you see them in person, and be like, these motherfuckers. Like, imagine seeing a 122-pounder in person, like the day of a weigh-in or the day before, and you be like, yo, these motherfuckers are tiny, like tiny. Like, and then it's nothing like seeing a heavyweight fighter, right, with these little ass ankles. They'd be like, yo, y'all ankles be so fucking little. Like, bro, outrageous. Like, Wilder legs, let me tell you, you think, like, TV don't do them justice. Like, them joints is, like, crazy, like, you know? But anyway, I'm getting up out of here. I got some editing to do. We're going to be here for a weekend of boxing from me. Let me check. What cards are on this week? That's just the only card, right? And then don't you have Richard Riakporhe or some shit? Let me see what's going on with the schedule this weekend. Okay, boom. 74.99, Tank versus Rolly. Lar versus Spike O'Sullivan. Jesus Ramos versus Luke Santamaria. Eduardo Ramirez versus Luis Melendez. Okay, what else? Nothing really of note. Mahmoud Char, Jesus. Christian Hammer. What card is this? Ill. No. Next week, we got an action-packed Saturday night with Kambosos versus Haney on ESPN. Me and Big J did a whole big video on that. Then you have Steve Fulton versus Dana Roman and David Morrell versus Kalvin Henderson. So these are two high-powered cards right here. And then in the middle of the day, you got Kenichi Ogawa versus Joe Cordina. So, all right, next week kind of busy. Naoya Inoue versus Donaire. That's going to be at 5 a.m. start time on June the 7th on ESPN+. I'm going to be here. I ain't got shit else to do. Yeah, we're going to get into the boxing schedule. I did post as much of this down below in the description box for those who want to know the June boxing schedule coming up. But listen, you guys get up out of here. I got some chores and shit to do. You know, some food prep. You know, first weekend I'm going to be back covering boxing. You know, like usually I'll cover boxing like hardcore for like 2-3 weeks, maybe a month. And then I'll have like a couple of weeks, you know, or a week or so where I'll like disappear for a little bit. But this is one of those times where I'm going to be pumping out a lot of boxing content over the next several weeks or so. I think I'm pretty much free until maybe the 3rd week, 4th week of June or so. Anyway, I'm getting up out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I'm going to be editing and chopping this video up and uploading in different pieces. See you guys tomorrow. And remember, I'm going to be streaming during the main event of Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero and during